Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, October 24, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Atlanta Falcons vs Miami Dolphins. The Atlanta Falcons have been struggling defensively this season as they are giving up 29.6 points per game. In their previous game against the New York Jets, they allowed 20 points on 230 total yards of offense, 166 passing, 64 rushing. They did a good job as the Jets went 5 of 10 on third down. They also need to improve a bit defending the run as the Falcons allowed 3.6 yards per rush attempt. If Atlanta can improve defensively here, they will be in a better spot this week. Our first betting advice is to pick Atlanta Falcons. The Miami Dolphins need to improve defensively this season as they are allowing 29.5 points per game so far. In their previous game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, they gave up 23 points on 396 total yards of offense, 312 passing, 84 rushing. The Dolphins forced the Jaguars to struggle on third down as they went 3 of 12 on third down and 2 of 3 on fourth down. They need to defend better against the run as they allowed the Jags to go 4.4 yards per rushing attempt. If the Dolphins can step up defensively as a whole, it will really help them bounce back from a 1-5 record to begin the season. Our second betting advice is to pick over 47. Kansas City Chiefs vs Tennessee Titans. Mahomes has thrown 8 interceptions on this season. He has thrown 2 interceptions in 3 out of the last 4 games, and he is tied for the second most interceptions in the league. Mahomes is third in the league in passing yards and first in passing TDs. Tyreek Hill is tied for first in receptions and is third in receiving yards in the NFL. Travis Kelce is first in receiving yards, receptions, and targets, and second in receiving TDs among all tests in the league. The offense has had to make up for the lack of defense. Kansas City's defense is bottom 6 in points allowed per game, last in sacks per game, bottom 5 in rushing yards allowed per attempt, and bottom 5 in total yards allowed per game. They have given up 29 points or more in 5 out of 6 games this season. Derrick Henry is first in the league with 783 rushing yards and 10 rushing TDs. Entering Week 7, he has the lead by 260 rushing yards over Nick Chubb and has 5 more rushing TDs than 6 players who are tied for second place with 5 rushing TDs. Tannehill has taken a step back this season. He has thrown for 1 TD or less in 5 out of 6 games this season. The defense has been shaky for the Titans as they have given up 27 points or more in 4 out of 6 games this season. The Titans are bottom 10 in the league in passing yards allowed per game and points allowed per game. Being bottom 10 in passing yards allowed per game and points allowed per game is not a good recipe when facing Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City's offense. Our first betting advice is to pick Tennessee Titans. Tyreek Hill was bothered all game by his quad injury. Don't expect Hill to get much practice time in this week, but he will likely play against the Titans. Anthony Hitchens hurt his right elbow in the game. He did not return to the game after departing in the second quarter. Both Hill and Hitchens did not practice on Wednesday or Thursday. In a weird occurrence, Tyrann Mathieu tweeted out he fractured his thumb, but he ended up deleting the tweet. Julio Jones left the game in the fourth quarter with a hamstring injury and was quickly ruled out. He missed the 2 games prior to the Bills game due to a hamstring injury, and he appeared to have aggravated the injury. Cornerback Caleb Farley injured his knee and was quickly ruled out of the game. Farley was put on the injured reserve. Taylor Lewan had to be carted off after suffering what appeared to be a neck or head injury. Lewan was down on the field for several minutes before the cart came out. Our second betting advice is to pick over 57.5. Quick reminder, BetUS is a platform that offers betting on all major sport and horse racing leagues. It has slots, table games, blackjack, and a variety of other casino games. All of the major US leagues are available for betting, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. In addition, BetUS allows wagers on esports, Olympic events, soccer, cricket, boxing, cycling, and many more competitions. Join BetUS now using our link down below and get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on the sportsbook after you open an account and deposit using our link and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES. Washington football team vs. Green Bay Packers. The Washington football team defense has been a disappointment this season as they are giving up 31 points per game. In their previous game against the Kansas City Chiefs, they allowed 31 points on 499 total yards of offense, 390 passing, 109 rushing. The Chiefs went 11 of 17 on third down and 1 of 2 on fourth. The football team did a good job at forcing 3 turnovers, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions. If Washington can step up, they can make a wild card in the NFC. Our first betting advice is to pick Washington football team. The Green Bay Packers have been a good defensive team this season, as they are giving up 22.7 points per game this season. In their previous game against the Chicago Bears, they allowed 14 points on 277 total yards of offense, 137 passing, 140 rushing. The Packers did decently well at getting stops on key downs, as the Bears went 4 of 11 on third down and converted on 1 of 2 fourth down attempts. Green Bay needs to improve on stopping the run as Chicago finished with 5.4 yards per attempt. If they can shore up their defense, they will be able to hold on to the NFC North lead. Our second betting advice is to pick over 49. Cincinnati Bengals vs. Baltimore Ravens. Cincinnati is scoring an average of 24.7 points per game, which is 11th in the NFL. The Bengals are 20th in rushing with an average of 106.2 yards per game and 18th in passing with an average of 238.3 yards per game. Joe Burrow has completed 70.7% of his passes for 1,540 yards with 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Joe Mixon has gained 480 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns and is averaging 4.3 yards per carry. Jamar Chase has caught 27 passes for 553 yards and 5 touchdowns to lead all Cincinnati receivers. Our first betting advice is to pick Baltimore Ravens minus 6.5. The Baltimore Ravens offense is 7th in scoring with an average of 28.3 points per game. Baltimore is 4th in the NFL in rushing with an average of 155.2 yards per game and 11th in passing with an average of 266.5 yards per game. Baltimore lost its top 2 running backs to season-ending injuries, but with Lamar Jackson under center, the Ravens have not missed a beat. Jackson is the leading rusher for the Ravens with 392 yards and 2 touchdowns, while averaging 6.1 yards per carry. Jackson has completed 67.5% of his passes for 1,686 yards with 9 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Jackson's favorite target is Marquise Brown, who has 32 receptions for 486 yards and 5 touchdowns, while tight end Mark Andrews has 468 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. Our second betting advice is to pick under 47.5.